Welcome to Naked and Afraid. I'm Bobby Lawrence, and this is Ronald May. Again, it's kind of the title of the show.
Yes.
We're really, before God, we're stripped naked of our self-righteousness. Yes. We're bears naked before Him. And are we afraid? Or are we just like, well, me and Him have a great understanding. I made my peace with the man upstairs, or the old man upstairs. There's no awe of God. I say
yes. And the church has made that same mistake.
I think we have. And
yes.
I think a lot of times we can't see the forest from the trees. And I think a lot of things that the church is waiting on to happen already happened. We're probably further behind the 8 ball than we think.
Well, and we have a preconceived idea of the Jesus. Did he have long hair in all the pictures? Is he going to come back and, you see Jesus as my homeboy on those church shirts, and is he going to be coming back and be all nice and sweet? Well, my Bible says that he's coming back in judgment this time. And so I think we have a bad idea. The church as a whole has a bad idea.
When it says make no graven images, have we done that?
I hear you.
And I mean, when the Europeans wanted to kind of give life to, Constantine said, hey, we could put in some statues of some saints and stuff. So they started creating these things, and even one of what they believed Jesus looked like. So, you hear some of the black Israelites talking about, Jesus wasn't white. Well, that's true to some extent, but he wasn't totally black, but a lot of white pastors will point at, well, the guy that helped Jesus tote the cross was a man of color. Well, white's a color. You know what I'm saying? So I would say he probably looked Middle Eastern. Mm-hmm. But what does that matter? If he's purple, the scripture says he died for you. And so what does it matter what color he comes from? This is the same thing. These Pharisees got caught in the trap of fussing about all that stuff. And they really didn't know God.
No.
Because if they'd have really knew God when he came to them, they'd have knew who he was. Some of them evidently did know who he was. So many of them, they didn't have to be told. They just knew this was the Messiah.
And they knew Scripture.
They knew Scripture, but they had to spend time in prayer to really know when they saw it.
They knew Scripture. They could quote Scripture because, of course, we didn't have Bibles we can just pick up and read now. They were teachers of the Scriptures, but they did not know the Scriptures to allow God to work in their lives to reveal the Scriptures. That's pretty good. Jesus is a revelation of the Word, because he is the Word, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that was standing right there in front of them, and they stood on the letter of the Word and didn't let Jesus reveal
the truth. And the letter can
to
kill.
them. Yes.
That's the whole, it can do you in. I think me and you was at listening to Mark Rutland, and something he said, about people that live over here in the chaos, and you got those that live over here in the law. And the ones over here in chaos was where all the dreams come from, but it also will blow up unattended to. And the ones over here with the law, it'll kill you. And usually that's where we're at, in one of those ditches. And I think it is skating between the two is where we're supposed to be. But I can sit here and read this word, and I've kind of learned this, and this is what my practice. I'm getting better at this, but one of my practices is not only to read it, but then to read it out loud, and then to pray it out loud. Because every time I go across a paragraph, there's something. Well, God, I have missed it here. Maybe I do need to do something about this. But then I'm praying His word back to Him. But then through that, if I'll listen and wait over the scripture for 5 minutes, it's like He really speaks to me. It might not be a whole sentence. It might just be a little word, but something will wash over me. And the longer I can stay there, it seems like the more, not only do I understand myself, I understand the one that made me.
Yes.
And I do that with Proverbs. With Psalms. I'll do a verse or two every morning when I first get up. I don't touch nothing, but I touch that first at 3:30 in the morning. And I'll read a chapter or two. I'll read it out loud, and then I'll pray it out loud, and I always find something. Usually God says, Bobby, you need to do something about this. And I have a lot more pride in me than I thought I did. A whole lot more pride than I thought I did.
The word says, and you will know the truth, which is the word, and the
Yeah.
truth shall set you free.